Hey peeps, it's Valentine King again, Valentine King Diatribe. It's October 14th, and we're coming up to election for November the 2nd. I was trying to figure out how to frame this particular diatribe that I've decided to call Bearing Witness. I wrote down a little bit of something that I would like to read to you. It's a long African American process. Black people in the United States didn't have any money, didn't have any power, so the only thing they could do was document their stories orally and pass it down through storytelling. And that's how a lot of how our knowledge was passed on. So here we are in the 21st century and trying to use modern technology. I am trying to bear witness to the madness and the craziness that is going on. So we have this election about to come up all across America, various people who are running who are Tea Party sanctioned individuals. And the Tea Party has absolute right to be angry. But they don't do any research or don't seem to get any facts. So their anger is so misdirected, it's ridiculous. So there seems to be almost viral against the Obama administration. And for lack of anything concrete, to me it looks like it's a bunch of crazy white people, you know, and they're operating out of from this racist perspective. Their anger are being motivated and manipulated by a lot of powerful influences. There's also seems to be a lot of, in this particular election, a lot of millionaires and billionaires who are running for office. We have this man named Palladino who's running for governor in the state of New York. And so when people hear New York, they think of New York City, which is a really progressive, funky, alternative city. I'm talking about the state of New York. New York City is in the state, and the state has this wackadoo named Palladino, who actually I think is, I don't want to say an opportunist. He's someone who wants power. He's quite wealthy. He's a billionaire. But I found now he wants power. So he's using the trope, guns, gays, God. You know, guns, gays, God. And you throw those up, culture wars, and that's like a lighting a fuse. And so he's supplying his own cash stream, so he doesn't have to fundraise. And so he's getting a lot of media attention because he can buy a lot of time. The last I heard, and it's probably more than it now, he's had spent like about $80 million of his own money, which amazes me. $80 million, you know, an individual can spend $80 million on their own, don't have to fundraise. We have another billionaire, and she's running for governor in the state of California. And she's using immigration. Oh, that's another trope. Immigration. And usually when people say immigration in America, they mean Latinos, for whatever they mean. And they specifically mean Mexicans, you know. So even though we have people of all ethnicities in this country who might possibly be illegal, the trope is that Mexicans are the ones who are stealing the jobs. And the jobs they're stealing, supposedly are stealing, quote unquote, are jobs that Americans are lining up around the corner. We're lining up to work in those fields. We're lining up to pluck chickens. We're lining up to plant trees The tree thing that I needed to say is that a lot of national parks in America get resodded and planted. A lot of Mexican workers do that. A lot of Mexican migrants do that. And I thank them for doing that, but I can't even imagine Americans doing that. I can't even imagine Americans doing that or wanting to do that. So, or the percentage wise will be very small. So, question that I would like to put out there: why are so many billionaires trying to run for office? And it can be for more money. You know what I mean? Like only the president, which is the highest paid office in the country, is only $400,000 a year. That's what the president makes. So they're going to. So it has to be for power. It has to be for some other gain. There's some type of machinations that are going on, and the power elite are now coming out from behind the curtains. And the other thing that I will agree upon, which I've heard recently, and I think I've overheard individuals on Fox News make this statement, that they're a class war because Obama would like to raise the taxes on 2% of the upper echelon of our culture. Well, I don't want to say that the class war is just starting. The class war has been going on for a long time. And actually, the upper echelon has been winning for a long, long time. The educational system is struggling. Public education is struggling in America. And people know what to do to fix it. I don't believe in the argument that people don't know what to do to fix it. And one of the things that people like to say is, we can't keep throwing money at the problem. We can't keep throwing money at the problem. Well, when you ask them about their kids and what schools their kids go to, they pay a hell of a lot of money for their kids to go to really good schools. So they threw some money at the problem. It's really seems to be a daunting time. But at the same time that it's daunting, I'm black, a descendant of slaves, and there's a black man in the White House with his black wife. So in this process of change, it's a level of tumultuousness that we have to go through. Somehow the American public, the society, has to become aware, to have to do more research, to get more knowledge, so they can understand the manipulations that's going on within our culture. Also, I feel as though we meaning the people, we need to be in more communication with other working people around the world. I think Americans, not by their choice, but by design. And design, I mean the dominant cultural script, the dominant power. American are isolationists. So they don't know anything or know very little about other cultures or what's going on in another culture. Americans always believe they have the best of this, the best of that, the best of this, the best of that. And whether or not the country does, very few people have access to the best of it. So we might have the best of this and we might have the best of that, but most of us can't afford it, whatever that or this is. So that's another little wacky thing. I want to say this. So there's this other gripe that's going on in this process by Tea Party people or people who are influenced by Tea Party. And one of their tropes they're using is, We want our country back. We want our country back. And I'm like, the question you should be asking is, who fucked your country up? That's the question. Want it back? Who messed it up? Who, like the situation that the United States is in, who put it in that situation? And where have you been all this time? Why weren't you on the lines? I mean, we're destroying unions. We're fighting like crazy to have a national health care. I do not understand or haven't been able to comprehend why the public, the American people, keep fighting against themselves and aren't really trying to find out the correct answers so they can challenge what's being said to them. It's a sad time. That's all I can say.